Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in to your new Jackrabbit Illustrated B-Team spin-off show.
Scared money don't make money.
That's right, folks. Scared money don't make money. The spin-off show from the B-Team with Ben and Brendan making their picks against the spread just like old times, with the addition of Alex Kenkel and his computer model that is featured weekly on JackrabbitIllustrated.com. As usual, the B-Team and all Jackrabbit Illustrated podcasts are live on the Jackrabbit Illustrated Facebook and Twitter pages, along with being live on the FCS Fans Nation YouTube channel. Also, if you don't catch us live, be sure to tune in on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, or any major podcast outlet in between. As always, the B-Team is brought to you by our title sponsor, Kubota Dealers of South Dakota. If you need a tractor, utility vehicle, construction equipment, zero-turn motors, parts, service, and more, there's always a Kubota dealer near you with 8 locations across the great state of South Dakota. Stop in today and get yourself into some orange equipment. And we would also like to thank our segment sponsor, Cubby's Sports Bar and Grill in downtown Brookings. If the Jacks are out of town and you need a place to watch them, head on down, get some Chislic cheese curds, beer, and burgers. And now, without further ado, scared money don't make money. Hey, everybody, welcome back into Jackrabbit Illustrated. We are Scared Money Don't Make Money, but big shout out, as always, to Kubota Dealers of South Dakota. Thanks for being our title sponsor, and thanks to our show sponsor, Cubby's Sports Bar and Grill, Brookings. They are the place to be. If you weren't down watching the soccer game, but you happened to be in town, that would have been the place to watch it, that's for sure, especially since it was a little chilly outside. Looked like a great crowd on hand for the soccer
Sounded
game.
like it. Brendan and I were talking and texting about that before the show here tonight. I live 3/4 mile away, had kids stuff tonight, so I couldn't get over there, but I was walking my dog just before the show, and that game winner, the crowd was loud. I heard it said half 3/4 mile away outside my house. So
it was a wild game. If you didn't catch it, I mean, that was nuts. Like Brad says, what a long goal in overtime. That was just wild. I will say I'm not, when it comes to basketball and stuff like that, I'm not the biggest fan of the Summit League network thing. But when it comes to sports like soccer, volleyball, that sort of stuff that you want to watch if you're not able to make it to Brookings, it's pretty sweet. And watch that on the Midco app. And man, I started out the second half. Yotes go up 1, and it's like, are you kidding? Like, we've been dominating this game. We're down in their end the whole time. This would be a shame. And soccer's a game where you can outplay a team and lose. So, it was great to see him come back, score the tying goal with like 4.5 minutes left or so, 4:40 left on the clock, and then fought all the way through for 30 minutes till they got that goal, and then punched in the game winner in OT against the Dirty Varmints from the South, just snatching their soul for the last 2 weeks now, and you love to see it.
I love it.
But speaking of snatching souls,
should we recap the games while we wait for Benjamin?
Yeah, we can go through our pick skis. We'll go through overall first quick here. It is crazy to think we are in week 10. Yeah, I got the spreadsheet up. I just keep it up forever. Too. Yeah. I went 4-2 this week. Woo, 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 woo. And I'm just ignoring that comment, Kevin. We don't
gonna acknowledge
we don't need to get into that. You watched the B-Team. You heard my thoughts. I went 4-2. And then you and Ben and the model, all you little buddies, went 503. So I am slowly creeping up on you. Just
you're within
two games
back. 2 games to me now.
I was down 7 at one point.
Battle for the lead. Brendan's within 2 of me. Battle for the hot dog suit, which isn't a hot dog suit this year. We still haven't decided. But
no, I think it might have been Steve Anderson on Twitter, or maybe Garrett, who brought it up. The Slinky dog from Toy Story costume, where the 2 losers have to wear.
I did see that.
Pretty amazing if you had to wear that out for a night in Frisco.
There was also the visit every of a certain chain restaurant that doesn't sponsor us because there's 365 of them. I thought about to do visit.
Horrific, dude. That's so expensive.
Well, not that, but you could do like visit every Culver's in South Dakota
There
over
we
the course
go.
of a weekend.
Yeah. Yeah. There we go. You have to eat
Yeah,
a
bugger
menu item,
Butterburger.
a Butterburger at every one of them. That would just be rough. Oh my God.
That'd be brutal.
That'd be so tough. Oh my God. No, but
Should we talk
the
about those games quick,
yeah,
I
let's
suppose?
chat up the games a little bit. Mercer ends up winning 44-34. Big comeback against Western Carolina. I specifically remember being pretty happy about picking Western Carolina, and then because they jumped out to a lead, if I remember right, and then Mercer stormed back and ends up winning to cover. And according to
I
Ben's notes,
thought
they covered with a minute
they
52 left in the game. Brutal. Just missed out. Ben could have been 2-4, which would have been glorious, and I'd have been 5-7. That would have felt good, but alas, it didn't work out.
then we had the Trees scored 20 unanswered to beat the Salukis. That was I didn't get to watch much of that because I was at tailgating, and I normally go back and watch the highlights of all the Valley games before I write by the numbers, at least the highlights. But I've been busy this week, so I kind of just looked at box scores to write my article. Full disclosure, I know some people say that's bad journalism, but I'm not a full-time journalist. You got any thoughts on that one, Brendan? Other than
I was sweating it. I was sweating at the beginning, watching the scores from the stands. I'm like, man, Trees, I believe in you one time. And then Southern Illinois just decided the game they were done playing.
the game was over, yeah.
It was like 14-0, 14-0.
It's 17-0 at half, and then they had the ball and were driving early third quarter and got stopped on fourth down, and they threw like 2 picks after that and said, "Okay, let's go home."
And that was it. That was the end of it. And Indy State comes back not just to cover, but to win outright. That is Southern Illinois, man. That's right. Chris says you can't stop the Trees. You can only help to contain them. Ron, I believe we are picking that game this week. It's
We are.
yep,
That's
we are.
going to
It's
be
the
our
only ranked
first
matchup
one.
outside of the Valley. Only ranked matchup, I think, in the country this week, actually.
Yeah, there's the slate this week last like 2-3 weeks has been kind of, other than the Marker and USD game, have kind of been kind of meh.
Right. Right. Yeah. I mean, it has been. Jim, per usual, is just being the rock star fan, watching from Culver's, getting dinner, listening to the show. I know they're not our specific show sponsor on Scared Money Don't Make Money, but they're obviously they've been with us for a long time, and that is just GOAT material right there.
We always got to shout out Jim, but so during the national anthem, during the USD game, Jim pops up on the video, doing the salute because thank you for your service, Jim, proud veteran of this country. And my buddy Max goes, I didn't know Jim served. I was like, does that really surprise you though? Jim popping is just what an American should be. I mean,
oh my God, yes,
Jim is
absolutely.
the man.
He is the man. He does the honor flights and everything too.
Just I was about to say, all his work with honor flights.
And I do want to bring it up since we're talking about Jim, we're in the middle of the game recaps, but that can wait. Jim has put out a challenge to everybody that I fully am on board with. I haven't checked. I'm going to pull it up while I'm talking here, but he has put out a challenge to everybody for Alex's Lemonade Stand to donate $11 in honor of Mark's number 11 for being, raising money for Mark to win. And that has gone swell because Mark has leapt up into first place. And if you're wondering where to go, you go to FCS Nation Radio, and then you'll click on Alex's Lemonade Stand. It's in either the top right corner, or it's the drop down menu, and then it'll pull up the whole list. You click on Mark Gronowski and you can donate. We are at $4,011 for Mark. And a new thing that has been added, which is awesome, is a new thing we found out about it. I don't think it's new to be added. Once we reach $5,000 raised for Mark, the Northwestern Mutual Foundation will add another $1,000 to his total.
They did that last year, didn't they?
They did do that last year, and they're doing it again this year, which is great. Club 32 honoring Les Tuma put $1,000 in God bless you guys. That is fantastic. I do see a $22 donation. It's from Anonymous for number 11 times 2. And I tell you what, if we get to $10, $11 donations and for Mark's number, I will match the first 10 $11 donations and donate to Mark that to Mark's lemonade stand fundraiser. So we get to 10 of those. It's $11. I'm pretty sure everybody spends that without thinking about it at a gas station or grocery store or whatever for Snickers, Kit Kats, and Mountain Dew. So we get to 10 of those. I'll match the 10 and put in $121 to match for Mark on that, which is a cool deal. And that is a really cool idea by Jim. So I want to shout him out. He's a stud.
Now that we've given Mr. Poppin his very deserved flowers,
Yes.
Next game, Bison beating the team we play this week, did not have a second down, not a fourth down or third down, did not have a second down in the first quarter. That's just a crazy stat. I don't know what you do with that.
Yeah, I mean, the more you think about that, like the deeper it sinks into your brain, the more it's like, what the shit? Oh my God. And God, Mike's not on here. We changed up the night, so I feel a little bad. Maybe he's missing us because of that. But man, that is oof.
If you are listening to this later tonight or in the morning, Mike, obviously come stop and see us over at book club tomorrow.
And that's always open to anybody. I've got four. I've got 6 pork butts rolling on the smoker right now, so I'm gonna have a metric butt ton of pulled pork for that. I feel like I'm overcooking again, but that's okay. We'll all have some leftovers. There's Benjamin. He made it. We've made it all the way to NDSU and Murray. There's not a lot to talk about besides that was a paddling. So
we can go through the other 2 games that weren't ours real quick here. Remember, I didn't get a chance to listen to you guys all the way through this week. Yes, I did. You guys covered this a little bit. But yeah, Missouri State, UNI in the defense does not exist game. I don't know. I don't think we'll talk about it more. I don't think that bodes well for Missouri State. I mean, obviously they're hot right now and they're trying to, stick their necks out to win the Valley down the stretch here, potentially as a dark horse, but they got to find some consistent defense. Their defense has been very, very inconsistent.
Yes. I don't have anything to add to that. That's pretty spot on. But Ben, glad you made it. Everything's okay. Everything's good.
Yep, everything's good.
Good. Excellent. That's what we like to hear. So, no, beyond that, UND, what the hell? Well, I say what the hell. Oh, that was the last one. See, I wasn't paying attention. I mean, I don't know, man.
No, I'm saying that's the last one we have to talk about. We hadn't talked about it.
Oh, the last one we have to talk about. Yeah. UND, I kind of called it a little bit. I didn't call for a loss, but I know I picked them to not cover, and they're outside of the Lara Center. They're awful. And in the end,
that beating we gave Youngstown just woke them up a little bit too.
Yeah, yes and no.
I mean,
and,
it's like giving us too much credit.
I don't know. I wouldn't, because you got to factor in who they played. They played USD in a trap game scenario, and
but
UND,
close.
But close. They played them close. But I'm 100% sure that USD was not locked in on that game.
No, I wouldn't say that either.
And I just skimmed over, some Walker's comments on this game just to see, and they're handling it about like anybody would, not well, and I don't blame them. But
it's been kind of a mix because like Kelly Howe, who I mentioned before, that runs UND 360, he's like, take a breath, first real road contest,
right.
But at the same time, like, if
you really shouldn't handle that well.
Well, especially since if you watch that game, that was when I was able to go back one of the nights this week and watch a little bit of highlights. that game shouldn't have gone to overtime. Youngstown should have won that game by more.
Right. They should have won outright. Yeah. And, the thing that I found curious from looking at their fans' comments was they wanted to know, well, what do other teams look like on the road compared to us? Are we just this miserable? So who do they compare to? USD. Like,
USD's
you're
not great on the
comparing
road traditionally either.
It's like looking in a mirror. They're like, well, we're about the same as them. Okay, check anybody else. Check Missouri State. I don't care.
Right.
Like,
last week was the best road game USD has played in their history, which, don't get me wrong, they played a great game. I'm not taking that away from them.
Yes.
That's the best they have ever looked on the road since I can remember them in the D1 era.
No, they have one better. They did beat NDSU in Fargo
last year.
They were like 3
and 2 years ago. Or
yeah, they've done it twice now in Fargo. Yeah.
Benjamin, we've been doing a lot of talking. We haven't heard from you yet.
I think this is more about Youngstown State and Bo Brungard. I'm a believer of him. I think he's good.
I think he will be very good.
And
if
they can keep him, I really hope they keep him.
If you go look at Youngstown State's results, I mean, they had that game against Duquesne, which obviously you can't lose that game and you can't play like that against that team. Outside of that, though, I mean, they've lost the games they were probably going to lose, and they've won the games they were, they could have had a chance to win. So, yeah, I mean, it's the thing is, I think because of that Duquesne loss, Youngstown was seen as just this awful team. I think the reality is they just had a hiccup and they weren't that bad because outside of that, I mean, they played Missouri State tough, obviously, rough game against us, but they played USD tough. And again, they won the other games they were supposed to win. So,
yeah, I think next year, if they can keep it together, they'll be something. There are encouraging signs with them, especially just with how good the quarterback is. I mean, that kid is a stud. They need a lot more from other places, but they seem to be coming through. No, Chad, we have not seen Mike from Murray yet. But I know
he also, if he's coming tomorrow, he might be on the road or in a plane right now too. That would
right, exactly.
Yeah, except Duquesne, I agree. That was a hiccup.
Yep, that Duquesne one was tough. Now, Ben and I have had a chance to talk on the game from last weekend, but Alex, you have not, and I'm sure you have thoughts. So if you want to go ahead, the floor is yours.
Yeah, I'll keep it brief because we're already 18 minutes in and we haven't even got to any of the games yet. But great first and foremost and most importantly, fantastic win. You beat a top 5 rival. You find a way in overtime. It's hard to be negative about that. As Jake said in our group chat, you guys that watch maybe heard some of the other shows, but it was hard. I'm not going to go on a rant, Chris. It was a great team win. I thought I tweeted Ben's tweet about how well Mark played. I thought that was a top 3, top 5 game of Mark's Jackrabbit career. I really thought he was that on, even though Kevin talked about on one of the shows, well, his stat line wasn't that good. It's like, well, kind of had to watch, and that's where I want to go with the other side of it. Just to be negative briefly, as silly as it is to do after a game like that. I think this is all stuff I've said. Those of you who know who I am on message boards, where I'm a little bit anonymous, but not really, as well as in our group chat, is our offense was better. I thought they were way better. They were way more balanced, but I think we are just struggling to counterpunch a little bit, especially the last 2 weeks going against good D coordinators in Grant Olson and Travis Johansson. It's just the defense adjusts and we don't seem to counter adjust quite as well. That's something I'd really like to see us work on in the next couple weeks before playoffs. And just some of the sequencing once again. Yes, Seth. Seth's to start the timer is going to be a new JI spinoff show just full of random rants. We love you guys. We have such a dedicated fan base. I'm amazed at some of the stuff you guys listen to us talk about. But anyhow, especially now that Brendan has the timer started, my last thought in the game is
That wasn't me.
Then Ben or maybe our producer who's hiding in the background.
Oh.
He can't. It's like a drug. He can't stay away.
My only other thought was once got to talk to you guys about this. Some of the sequencing on some of those fourth quarter drives. Once again, not to dog Coach Olson or Coach Freund, because I think they have done a good job for the most part. Yes, honey, I love you too. My wife, my beautiful wife Beth, says full of rants, aka Tuesday night in our house.
Let's make it longer too.
Right. But anyhow, my last thought from this game is I didn't love some of the opportunities, especially that drive that went from third quarter into the start of the fourth quarter. That drive went, Mark picks up 3rd and 10 with his legs. Mark picks up a 2nd and 12 on that amazing throw to Griffin Wilde where he gets crushed by Marquise Grace. Mark picks up a big 3rd and 7. I don't remember if he hit Ogrovsky or Goring on an out. But then the 4th series of downs in that play, we get 2nd and 4, which is a little bit on Mark. We can't lose 3 yards on a quarterback power, but we do, and we get another 3rd and 7. And then we throw a screen pass, and I was kind of like, dude, you're top 5, top 3, top 1 quarter. Even though he's had some struggles here, quarterback in the FCS is in his bag. Why?
Be right back.
Why take that out of his hands? But anyhow, so we can get into some of these picks here when Brendan comes back. Great team win, great performance. Really excited about what the rest of this year holds.
Yeah, and again, like we talked about on Tuesday, just have to credit the Yotes. I mean, they came to play
100%. They came to play and they played well.
Yeah, I mean, like that Marquise Grace, number 90, their D end, he played out of his mind. Dennis Shorter played really well, and just listening to them talk about it. They even realized that, like, man, some of those guys played the best games maybe of their career in that game.
Yeah, 100%.
Their defense was just out of their minds, and not to say, I mean, their defense is good, but they also played really, really well. They executed really, really well against us, and that's what they had to do to win that game, and they had the chance to win it, but they couldn't pull it off. While Brendan's gone, we might as well just roll right into JIAI here. If I can get this into the view that I need it to be in. There we go. Almost. And we're there. Perfect.
I love it.
Yeah, I figured, do a little South Dakota. It looks like they might have added a face to the Mount Rushmore. Maybe they added Mark Gronowski's face.
Thomas Jefferson. Does that look like 2 Thomas Jeffersons? It's Mark? Okay.
Yeah, I think Mark Gronowski got added to the Mount Rushmore there. This is Craig Haley finding out that the playoff committee is not going to take the stats poll into account.
Oh my God. This is the best thing I've ever walked into.
I just had to throw that in there since we kind of jabbed at it on Tuesday night. But I actually fed a picture of Craig Haley into the AI, and this is somewhat him.
Did you hear?
Likeness, but it's not the worst.
Yeah, Sean and Joe want us to redo it.
They want to redo.
They want to redo. They were not. You'll have to listen to them on the Hack Bags this week.
I hadn't had a chance to listen to that yet.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. So
no,
they want another shot at it.
We'll see what I can do. Oh, did that stay? Oh, it did. Nice. Then we had, apparently this is a catamount.
What?
Or this is what AI thinks a catamount is.
All right.
It's
well,
the
it's Halloween-ish, I guess.
the Mercer Bears chasing down the
Jeez.
Western Carolina Catamounts. I mean,
Holy
I don't know what a
holy
catamount
nightmare
actually looks
fuel.
like.
It's
We'll
like
have
a
to-
mountain lion, is what one guy told me. But
Yeah.
catamount, cougar. Oh yeah, it's more of a cougar. Yeah, that's a sick looking catamount. The sad battered Sakluki. It did a good job. I fed it an image of the actual Sakluki and
Ben's crusty sock Lukey.
hey. This is the real Sakluki, and he's sad because he's had a really rough year. This one doesn't look consensual at all. It's the bison.
It's a bison running a racer off a ledge. Let's keep it
Yeah.
PG.
Bison running a racer off the ledge.
To be fair, we've never claimed to be PG.
No,
No,
I
we
think
haven't.
our show is one of the only ones on the network that gets on the Spotify version explicit.
That
Probably
looks lubeless.
partially my
That's
fault.
what that looks like, lubeless.
Then we had the Missouri State Bears taking over the UNI Panthers, who
That
are
looks
just
kind of consensual.
struggling. It doesn't need to be anyway.
What do you mean it doesn't need?
I'm
Reed,
saying that
Are you okay?
it doesn't. It's not. It wasn't sexual in the first place. It doesn't even need. Anyway, we had the big herd of penguins taking it to a mailman. He's got extra teeth. I don't know what's going on there.
Bubba, no.
We did have Jimmy.
This isn't even AI.
I couldn't get AI to do what I wanted to do, so I resorted to memes for a few things.
I'm down with it.
Especially, we had Jimmy in overtime on 4th and short, saying "Scared money don't make money," and I love this picture of Jimmy, so I had to include it from when I think he was a senior back in like 09 or something.
It was after the flow.
Yeah.
The flow is sick.
Another meme I had to throw in there for USD. You almost had it. You got to be quicker than that.
24 years.
And then the other had to throw a little brother AI in there for USD as well. The
whole quarter of a century.
The coyote went back to the wastewater treatment plant, battered and bruised. This next one is my favorite. It's not JIA, but it's a meme, and it's Eric from Billy Madison. He every time I look at Bob Nielsen, I see Eric from Billy Madison.
Well, and so Ben and I texted a little bit about the illegal shift, and I finally last night was able to go back and watch it. And easy for me to say, I thought it was an okay call. Their offensive line was still getting set while AJ Coons was in motion, and they snapped the ball before Coons was set. So I thought it was a good call. Did it affect the play?
Well,
maybe not, but the rules are the rules.
One clarification I heard is that if you're running parallel to the line, you can be in motion when the ball snapped, because think about like a jet sweep.
But it can't be more than one at a time.
Correct. And there was only one.
And you have to be set first and then set after. You can't break the huddle and never stop moving.
This is true, but also the one clarification I heard was if you are going parallel and then you present your numbers to the line of scrimmage, as in you're stopped going parallel, then you can't go forward, because then you're like, and I think that's what they were calling, is that, hey, you were going parallel, then you turned to the line of scrimmage and then you went forward, and so that was the issue there. But
like I said, even beyond that, their linemen were still kind of setting their splits while AJ started his motion.
Yeah.
Which turns into a shift instead of motion.
Correct.
Yeah. And then I don't know, just since this is what mine eyes saw and we have Mr. Official on here, am I crazy to see think they got away with being a little early on their snap count a couple times earlier.
Yeah, and that happens. You really got to get
Right.
You know,
it depends how close they want to call it, I'd imagine.
how often, I'm a Cowboys fan, so I'm a Lane Johnson hater. How often do you see Lane Johnson false start? 12 times a Sunday. It's just if the defense moves or if it's, you get to the whistle in time. Because sometimes even, if you see it and you kind of fumble your whistle and no one's yelling for it and it doesn't drastically impact the play, it's like, yeah, let's just get to the next down. That was a 2-yard run sort of thing.
Gotcha. Okay.
Ree said thanks to
Officials
you guys.
are human too. Of course, Ree. You got to take care of family first.
All right, let's get into this week's picks. Pull it up here. We've got one out of conference game. Mercer's in here again. Got Eastern Tennessee going to Mercer, and Mercer's a 7-point favorite at home. I am torn on this game because I think ETSU has a better strength of schedule. I'm not sure about Mercer and their schedule so far, but I think it's a bad matchup for ETSU with them wanting to run the ball and Mercer being pretty good at stopping the run. So I'm going to take Mercer here. They helped me with, I don't know if you guys mentioned it, but pretty late cover in that game that helped me out. I'm going to have faith in them again here.
They sure did help you out in that one. Well, yeah, I was gonna say, Alex, are we doing the normal round?
Yep.
Or
I figure we were, unless you're really itching to go.
No, I'm not. I'm trying to pull up so I can keep track too and make sure that I like to be able to look during the game and be like, oh, all right, I'm doing okay on my picks instead of wondering until whenever Ben uploads them.
So model says Bears by 9.13, so it's going to take Mercer to cover that 7-point spread. I'll disagree. I think ETSU actually wins this one outright. Kevin's agreeing with me. Seth and Chad are both in the comments saying ETSU's passing offense has not been great and Mercer has a good run defense. Those are both true, but Mercer has just kind of barely, I know this isn't super great analysis, but Mercer just has struggled to get past some good teams or played them way closer than they should. And I think even though they might not be rated as high as some other teams Mercer's played, I think coaching-wise, I'm a big Trey Lamb believer. And even talent-wise, I just think ETSU is one of the best teams Mercer's played. And even if ETSU doesn't win outright, they can definitely cover 7 here.
I am going to agree with the model. I'm banking on a run defense that's been solid. The 2 games where teams put points up on them were Samford, who's renowned for slinging it all over the field, and then against Western Carolina, who has Gonzalez as their quarterback and slings it all over the place. So I think Mercer's defense gets right in this game, and I think ETSU is going to have a hard time scoring points. And Mercer's offense seems to have found itself a little bit. So that and the fact that the Bears are at home, I'm going to take Mercer to cover 7, which feels like a lot. I don't love that spread, but I'm going to bank on like a field goal to cover at the end of the game, I guess. But the Citadel is, I'll give you this, Kevin. I'm even going to call them the Citadel, even though my biggest pet peeve is any school calling themselves the. I'm going to give it to them, man. They've been roaring back, from last year. I mean, it's one of the best turnarounds besides maybe Stony Brook of any program in the country right now. So good for the Bulldogs. They just beat the brakes off of Sanford. So good for them.
Perfect. Then we have UND licking their wounds and going to Indiana State, who not a pushover this year. This line is surprising to me.
It's in Terre Haute. I see the look on your face, Brendan.
Indiana State plus 23. I know what he's grabbing too. He's got a prop. and he forgot it. I'll give him time to grab it. But Indiana State plus
I can stall.
23, plus 23 at home. There's no way you can trust UND at this point away from the Alerus Center to cover 23. Get out of here. So I'll go Indiana State plus 23 all day. We'll let Alex go, and then Brendan gets to show his prop.
Model says Hawk Tuas by 16.69. So they are going to cover on the model, and I'll agree with how UND plays on the road, especially last week. The Trees shown a little bit of fight lately. There is no way, as John Neff says, UND covers this spicy meat to ball.
Look at Brendan just smiling from ear to ear.
I'm jazzed. So I go to the tailgate last week, and Jim's waiting there for me because I went to the volleyball game. He's got a box. He's like, "This is for you." I'm like, "What in the hell are you getting me?" And let me tell you, boys, this game, it's a spicy meatball. It smells like a spicy meatball. If you're wondering, it's not spicy meatball scented, which is funny. The funniest part about it. It actually smells really nice. And I moved all my drinks to try to not spray it in it, and I definitely did. So we'll see what orange and rosemary lavatory mist tastes like. But this is a spicy meatball. There's no way. No, I don't care if they're mad. And like Indiana State hasn't been playing that bad.
No.
Have they even gotten blown out by anybody recently?
Not really.
I mean, they're Indiana State get blown out, but like not recently. Like in conference, I don't think anybody's beaten by 23.
I haven't checked.
Sure
I'm interested
UND on the road.
Interested to check the UND boards. How hot is Bubba's seat getting?
I think, despite the extension, I think it's getting a little toasty. Yeah,
there's no way they have the money to extend him. Yeah, I mean,
no,
I don't know. I mean, I guess they got beat by 25 by Missouri State.
But every other game they've played this year, win or lose, has been a one-score game, which is just odd because, like, I guess they beat Dayton by 11.
If I was a fan / booster of UND, I would just get sick of the fact that they can't play away from home. Like that's a coaching issue. It has to be a coaching issue. I don't know how else to go about it. And somebody has to be held accountable. In my opinion, it'd be Bubba. And they're probably going to regret letting Freund go when they get rid of Bubba.
Yeah, but you know how much grace beating NDSU as Chad brings up that he beat NDSU last year. That buys you a lot of grace.
You do gain a lot there.
Up there. That'd be like almost, I don't know, say like a Hail Mary, and then you get an extension.
What? Who did that?
Hey, you got the extension the year after.
Hey man,
don't get me started on that tangent. That was
what's funny is they're so excited about barely losing in Brookings that they want to like name a day after him in Vermillion. They
do not.
Yeah, and after 2022, they wanted to fire him, and that I've talked to you guys about this before. That would have been the best case scenario for seeing that program go in the garbage, because who would have taken that job? Anyhow, let's go to the next game.
That's funny.
I won't say that it's directly tied to almost beating SDSU and Brookings, but there was talk from the mayor of Vermillion that they should name it like I think their next home game, which is next Saturday, Bob Nielsen Day in Vermillion in Vermillion or something.
Everyone from the mayor, pre or post game?
Post. Everyone wears a dumb shirt and tie. I hate football coaches that wear shirt and ties. So that's a separate.
Yeah, they're talking about dressing up like him, and there was. I'm just telling you, it's out there. You can go find it
now. Hello, internet.
I love that we have. I'll just put that out there because whiskey sour has been pouring tonight. I love that we have a football coach that wears a t-shirt and jeans on the sideline. Yes, please.
Yeah. Yeah.
I gotta find that quote. That's no way.
I could probably find it for you. Anyway,
you got to find that. That's insane.
We'll move on. We've got Youngstown State going to Illinois State. Also, by the way, we all picked Indiana State. We've picked Indiana State way more than
Once in a row.
any other year.
Year prior.
This year's total has eclipsed all of their previous picks. But anyway, Youngstown State going to Illinois State, and Illinois State's only favored by 8 at home, which this is a real interesting game for Illinois State. Youngstown State's figuring some stuff out on offense, especially. Man, I'm tempted to pick Youngstown State here. I think I will. I'll take +8. I believe in Bo Brungard.
Model says Redbirds, but by 6.07, so it will also take Youngstown to cover. And I'll agree too. I think Illinois State wins this outright, just kind of because they have to. They're probably on the playoff bubble. If they win, all their games left should be winnable, except UND will be tough because that's in the Alaris. But even at 8-4, it'll be kind of curious to see what the rest of the bubble looks like. For that reason, I think same game parlay in this one. I would hit over Illinois State money line, Youngstown +8.
Man, they only. Is this right? Oh my God, they're coming off a bye. That's what it is. They only beat Murray by 8.
Yeah.
My God, I'm going to eat the points. I'm going to believe in Youngstown here. They're the hot team, and I mean, how do you only beat Murray by
sweep again?
8? Man, yeah, give me YSU to cover. I don't know if they'll win, but they're going to cover at home. They're at Illinois State still. They're going to cover. Yeah.
Chris Howard and my wife and my text both correcting me. Jimmy wears Lululemon sweat catchers, not jeans, evidently. So
yeah, if you've watched the show, the coach's show, he talks about his sweat catchers.
I know, but I didn't literally mean jeans, but anyhow, squirrel.
Anyway, there it is. I just found that the
Bob.
If anything, I'm 100% certain that Ron is in fact Ron Lowney. He had to either get a new account because he got banned for something.
There's no way there's another Ron that quotes
his
comments that often.
0% chance that there's another Ron out there that posts like Ron Lowney. There's no way. So he's back.
All right.
That explains his absence as well.
We've got Southern Illinois going to Missouri State, who is favored by 15 at home. Man, what do you do with Southern Illinois at this point? They have to have completely given up right at this point, and so it's a ton of points, but I'm going to take Missouri State at home.
Model says Bears by 12.96, so it will just barely take the Salukis to cover. I will disagree, and I will agree with Ben. Southern Illinois' offense is just so injury hampered that they're not good. Even with the inconsistencies of Missouri State's defense, like we talked about earlier, they should be able to stop Southern Illinois with the talent they have. And their offense has just been clicking really, really well the last 3 weeks. So I could see them really putting up a lot of points at home against Southern Illinois. Give me Missouri State.
Well, we go through, and we thought that they would hammer Lindenwood, and they only won by 14. And we thought they would hammer Youngstown State, and they only won by 7. And these are all home games specifically. But also, we thought they'd hammer Northern Iowa, and they only won by 7. So,
are you saying the plaster effect is not real?
The plaster effect is not real. They did beat the brakes off of Indiana State, but otherwise, when it's an unranked kind of slouchy team, they're close with them. So I'm gonna go ahead and take Southern Illinois to cover just because it's 15 points. I bet
they won 41-7 at Illinois State.
Okay. That's a ranked team. I said when they're against unranked slouchy teams.
Oh, a slouchy team, you're saying. Ah, I see what
Slouchy
you're saying.
team, unranked. I would never say Southern Illinois is a ranked good team right now.
Yeah, this is true.
Not currently.
I misunderstood.
I mean, for whatever reason, it seems like they're a team who maybe doesn't get super locked in when it's a bad team. You know, when UNI plays you to within 7 this year, and so does Youngstown State. Although we're saying they're playing better now, they certainly weren't in the beginning of the season.
No, that's fair.
You know, and
Yeah.
Missouri State's going to win. I think it'll be close. It'll be 10 to 14 points, but I don't think they win by 3 touchdowns. So I'm going to take Missouri State to win. They continue their run atop the conference, which is wild to say because they've played nobody. So until the last 2 weeks of the season, then they get to dodge USD. So
right.
They won't find out till mid-November.
Speaking of UNI, they go to NDSU, and NDSU is a 34.5 point favorite at home. This one's really tough again because NDSU has shown that they are willing to beat teams by a lot this year. They have, I mean, this has to be the most they've been winning by, you know, when you look at some of the, like the game against Tennessee State, Illinois State, they've just had some big margins this year. However, I think UNI does enough to cover here. I think that UNI has just had a really, really hard schedule, and this kind of it continues it. Granted, they partially did that on their own. They scheduled 2 FBS games, but yeah, I'll take UNI to cover the points here.
Model says Bison by 30.42. So Bison win big, but do not cover. I agree. We've talked about it before, especially in these UNI games. Mark Farley loves a backdoor cover, and these big spreads leave that back door wide open. Give me UNI to cover.
Well, I'm going to go against the grain here. I think NDSU covers. UNI, when they can stay in the fight, we'll keep it close. But if you jump on them, as we saw, they just kind of go away. So I think NDSU is going to cover on this one because I think they're going to jump on them right away. I think Polisek remembers all the years of when they were a tough rival for NDSU, and I think they're going to beat the brakes off of them. And, you know, UNI's close games, well, their close games have been at home. On the road, they have not played well. I mean, they beat Saints when they were at St. Thomas, they won by 7 points. Not saying they haven't improved, but I mean, versus us 41-3 at UND, 31-7 at USD, you know, 42-17. I don't know why I threw our game in there because we were there, but they get hammered on the road. They were at home against Missouri State. They're going to be on the road in Fargo. Those fans still don't like UNI, so I'm going to take NDSU to cover. I think they're going to go and slam them. Oh, my God. The mayor himself is on here?
Yeah.
Yes.
As long as it's his actual account.
Esteemed
right.
Mayor Cole, if this is actually you, if you could please fill us in while we discuss the USD game, which there isn't one. There's a bye. Never mind.
There's a bye this week. That would punch a hole in Ben's theory.
If he wants to provide some clarification, we'll post it.
Yes, we're absolutely yes. We contrary to popular belief, we do try to put the right stuff out there. So, by all means, you are more. Absolutely.
It wasn't what I put out there wasn't incorrect. It was. I'm just reporting what was said.
That's got to be Corey. That's got to be Corey Mensch.
I was gonna say, there's no way.
We've
had some interesting people find our show, but come on now.
Hold on, you guys keep talking. I'll get to the bottom of this.
I don't think that's real. Anyway,
No, it's not real because Ope did accept the challenge, so I know that for a fact. Mayor Niemeyer did accept the challenge this year. That's not true.
All right.
I don't know. He's got 700. He's got 48 followers. He's got 715 followers. Somebody's been running this for a long time. If it's not him.
Oh, well, I stand corrected then. Mayor Cole says not against him. Okay, then.
Fair enough.
Huh.
Oh, okay.
Right. Well, if you do want to provide some clarification on Bob Day, then please
Who
do.
is watching us that knows the mayor of Vermillion? What is going on? What?
I don't know.
We have weird lives, guys. We have weird lives.
We sure do.
We get way more reach than we should be allowed to have. This is on a Friday night at 10 o'clock.
That must have been my confusion, Mayor Cole. Thank you for clearing the air on that. He says he accepted the bet with the mayor of Fargo, not with him. Fair enough.
I love how you're calling him Mayor Cole.
He is Mayor
Cole.
elected official.
I know. You can probably just call him John. I don't know. Anyway,
if he says that's what we can call him, that's fine. But until then,
up
let's show the man his due respect.
Mayor Cole says that, up until the time that Mayor Cole says we can call him John, he is Mayor Cole.
Thank you, Brendan.
Ben, you uncultured swine.
All right, my bad.
Some of us are raised with manners.
Sorry, Mayor.
God, get your life together. Now I'm nervous to even swear. We got mayors watching us. What's going on?
I'm also nervous. I saw one of my former coworkers who's a retired.
Okay.
We have clarification.
Mayor Cole says the USD podcast said that we should do a Bob. They should do a Bob out, and so he will declare it Bob Day if there's enough support. Fair enough.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
I appreciate the clarification.
Optics wise, the timing isn't ideal when you're dealing with troll dickheads like us. But
right.
I said I wasn't going to swear. Here I go. But I get it. I get it. That makes sense. Okay, that's better.
Keep it G-rated, Brendan. Richard toilets.
At least you didn't tune in during JIAI.
That's yeah. Don't rewind.
Don't rewatch us. We're a mess.
Don't go back to like the 15-20 minute mark. Not good for anybody.
It was a fantastic, mate. That was a fantastic game last week, Mayor Cole.
It was a very good game.
Agreed.
And I will agree to that as long as you agree not to go back and watch our tomfoolery.
Chad says former Sioux Falls Mayor Mike Uther watches all the time. I can vouch for that.
Oh God,
he does enjoy some JI. He's talked to us at the tailgate.
This is why I purposely forget when I find out people watch us, because I would be so on
my
edge.
wife has to remind me every week. She's like, you realize people we both do and don't know in real life watch you guys, right? You're not just talking to Ben and Brendan up there.
Well,
that's what makes it fun.
Like I said, I had a former coworker retired that she said she watches all the time. I'm like, I don't think that, like, I don't want you to be hearing things that I say.
Don't.
All right, we got to wrap this thing up before an hour. We never had a Scared Money Don't Make Money go past an hour. All right.
Yeah, but you weren't here. That doesn't count. We only go off of the time that Ben is physically present.
Problem. If I'm not here, this thing will go an hour and a half.
No, you're trying to
Brendan
cheap out on not
about
having to be
forever.
You're cheaping this into 45 minutes of Ben, and the people need their Ben.
All right.
Their vitamin B.
All right.
Right.
Last but not least, Jesus. Last but not least, we've got Murray State coming to town, and the spread is massive. It's SDSU at home by 43 is what the line is. 43 points. Now, when you look at Murray State's results, though, it's hard to argue against that line. Mayor Cole says last year, 2 years I've had to wear blue in council meetings after Mayor Oat bowed out this year, or after the L. Mayor Oat bowed out this year. It means the Oats are coming on strong.
They are. They absolutely are. We said they're
Oh yeah,
team
we've
before the
given them
game
credit.
even. Yep.
We've given them credit. They are a good team.
They're going to be a problem.
100%.
Come that last game of the year is going to be a fun showdown.
Perfect. All right. Like I said, if you look at Murray State's results, it's hard to disagree with that line. And I'm gonna say SDSU covers. I don't see, unless we're really throwing in some second and third string guys on defense, I just don't see Murray State scoring more than 6 or 7 points. And I think we see another 50 Butterburger out of this offense. I think they use it as an opportunity to get some things straightened out. And yeah, I think we see a late cover here. Mayor Cole with the bison horns down. I love that.
Quit
He
fighting.
says we can both agree. Bison horns down. Appreciate that.
Forever. I said before that game, after the NDSU game, to NDSU fans, I would want USD to win that game. And they were appalled.
I think looking at the playoff scenarios, we want the Bison to win, but that's a whole separate show.
Yeah, we'll see how the playoff scenario plays out here as the year goes on.
Yeah, we can't comment on playoffs. This will go another half hour at least.
Sure we can. Hey, the committee just released their rankings. We didn't even touch on that.
Hey, we can have a like impromptu degenerate show.
What do you got to get up for work tomorrow, Ben?
Yeah.
No, I got to get up to tailgate though.
That's fair.
I'm not sleeping, so we might as well all stay awake. We might as well all stay in this together. I'll leave every 30 minutes and I'll be right back after I spray my pork.
Smoking pork all night?
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, make sure you fill it with pellets.
Thanks for tuning in, Mayor Cole. We appreciate it. Who's ratting us out to the Mayor of Vermillion? That's the real question here. Who's the rat? Who's the rat in the BT Mafia?
Picks to run for the mayor of the town they live in? No, because
Ben would become mayor of Del
That
Rapids.
is an incredible. Oh, that's such a good one, Beth.
Golly,
That is such a good one.
That would be bad because then, like, what if I actually got elected?
Oh, I'm going to show up at the meetings and I'm going to just report all sort of wild shit about you.
You guys would be campaigning so hard for me to win.
He's got an unregistered cat. It's off the. I'm gonna bring up a bunch of petty city ordinances to try to make you lose the race at city council meetings. He doesn't have a pet license for a cat. I don't have a cat. I'll prove it. And then you're gonna come home and there's gonna be a cat in your house or something.
I don't know what is your rat as a Jax fan thing.
I think that was a typo.
It was a Jax fan who ratted us out. All right, you dirty little bastards.
Who's
ratting us out?
All right, which
Someone
one
of
of
BT
you
Mafia contacted the Vermillion mayor?
Turning on us? What the hell's going on here?
You have a mutiny. I'm a little impressed that BT Mafia's got these connections. On the other hand, you never rat on the family.
Well, Jim Poppin said it's not him. I appreciate that, Jim. I knew it wasn't Jim Poppin. He would never.
It would never be Jim.
Benjamin,
this would be hilarious, actually. This one?
Loser.
That would be pretty good.
Wastewater treatment plant. That's a pretty good. Oh, this is a. Oh man, Beth, you've unlocked a cornucopia of really unfortunate punishments with this.
Benjamin, what's the spread in this game again?
Oh, Ariel does like the idea. She was saying no to staying up all night. The spread on this game is 43.
Model says
I love that idea.
Jax by 39.99. So it's going to pick the Racers to cover. I disagree. Chase Mason goes for 10, 12, and 3 tutties through the air. Book it.
Okay, so I'm still thinking about this punishment. First off, my thought is number one, whoever wins gets to pick the punishment.
Ooh.
The champion picks the punishment for last place.
Okay.
Right? And then my second part is an addendum to Beth's thing, because you're worried about winning. I could fix that. We'll have an addendum to it that you run for mayor, but every public appearance you make for a debate or to talk to people or whatever, and you have to make an honest effort to win as mayor. However, every time you do it, you're going to wear an Easter bunny suit.
Jesus. All right.
You'll be on Kello so fast. Oh my god.
Oh, that we can't.
Your guts are twisted now, aren't they?
Public standing / careers with this thing.
It's not gonna ruin your career.
I don't know if you go too far.
I don't think that's a legal reason to fire anybody.
Look, I like 3 coworkers see me last night wearing cat ears, a cat tail, and kitty makeup because that's what my 3-year-old wanted me to wear for Halloween. Okay, it's not any worse than that.
Can we talk low key about how Ben is pretty confident he'd win as mayor?
I'm not. Yeah, no, I'm not.
Yes.
I'm just worried.
It's Mayor Ben.
He's so convinced if he runs, he is winning that sumbitch.
I'm not calling him Mayor Cole no more. I'm going to be Mayor Pearson.
Yeah, no. If I ran for mayor and I did make it, I would make you guys call me Mayor Ben every time you talk to me. By the way,
Ben's gonna make us be on his city council or cabinet or whatever, and.
But no, I'm not confident I would win. I'm just worried that if we did the stunt of making somebody run for it,
that
pack.
I know, would happen. I know, and then you'd have to deal with that for how long?
Hey, that'd be okay.
I know 5 people that live in Dells. That might be enough to get Ben elected.
I don't know how many people vote for that. BT Mafia is big enough. We could probably get me elected. No, John, none of us are running for mayor.
Hey, that's Mayor Cole to you.
He needs pointers. That's Mayor Cole to you,
Mr.
Ben.
Cole. None of us are running for mayor.
That's the guy in last place. You have 2 guys real close to first place and 1 guy real close to last place. 2 guys really like that idea. So I don't know where you think this is not happening.
I'm gonna have to quit the podcast.
If I keep this lead, Benny, you are 100% running for mayor of Delaware.
See, I told people were
throwing
out all these nasty, terrible things, and I'm like, let it be organic. This is the best one yet. Anyways, I don't. That's so many points.
Who did the model and Alex take?
We'll cover.
I was so distracted by the mayor thing.
Know.
I was so.
I'm took worried. Murray. I took the Jacks.
I'm gonna take Murray just because. Ever since the Pine Bluff game, we've never done that. We just don't do that to people. Well. Yeah, I'll take the Jacks.
There you go.
This is such an absurd amount of points. Like
43 is a lot.
I'm not gonna be mad if I'm wrong either, because 43 points. Jesus, Mary and Joseph. Anyways, what a show! This is an all timer. John Mayor Cole. Listen, I didn't want to run for office either. Yet here I am. Did you lose a bet too?
I would have to lose a bet to run for mayor of Vermillion.
Jeez. He's right here, Alex.
Oh my God. Right to his face. Oh my, yeah, garage.
Thank you for listening and being on the show, Mayor Cole. We do appreciate it.
We do appreciate it.
And thank you for your service as a public servant.
Yes, agreed. You. The jabs are all friendly. If you do go watch JAI, it was all meant in. It was.
He's sweating now.
In jest.
Oh, yeah, he's sweating now.
All right, we got to get out of here.
All right. Closing thoughts. There's still some tickets for tomorrow. There's like 600 some odd left. So if you're within 2-hour radius, you're not doing anything tomorrow afternoon. Get your chores done in the morning. Get your butt here. Let's make it a sellout. See everyone at tailgating. Brendan's gonna make some pulled pork. What does everyone else got?
Military appreciation, right?
Yeah,
Military Appreciation Day.
There's
Sweet.
with those tickets left, veterans, you're still eligible for 4 tickets. So call ticket office tomorrow morning yet. You can still get those 4 tickets.
Well, I think you just show up at the will call and get them.
Yeah, I believe you can do that as well.
And
Good point.
if anybody wants them or wants to go to the game, doesn't have a ticket, let me know. We're able to get 4 of them thanks to my wife. So we'll hook you up and get you in the game.
Awesome.
Find me at tailgating. I also got a buddy who's still got all 4 of his military tickets available as well. So
Yep.
And the
like
flyover.
John said, there's a sweet
Yep.
flyover.
Yeah.
For military appreciation.
F-35s, military
And for Matt
appreciation
Anderson.
in honor of Matt Danger Anderson. Yep.
Chad, did you want to be on?
No, I didn't. But I've been laughing my ass off in the background. John Cole's a
I
cool
figured
dude. That's
we're
what I
this
can
deep.
say.
Yeah,
this
John
deep
Cole, you're a
already.
good dude, man.
I have
You're a
great
good dude.
incredible respect for Mayor Cole tonight. I will say that.
Yep, absolutely.
All
For
right.
jumping on and confronting us about it. What a stud. Good for you. I love it.
I'm guessing it's
That's
either
awesome.
Corey or Anna that live down there.
That's probably the case.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
Corey's in trouble if it was him.
Or Jace.
Oh,
Could have been Jace.
Jace?
He's
also
kind of a
Jace.
traitor.
Jace, if it was you, I'm gonna figure out something. I can't
I don't think
win a
it's-
bet that makes you run for mayor, but it's gonna be something.
I don't think it's Jace because he would have texted me by now. He's not good at keeping secrets.
True.
It's true.
I think he
That's
listens to
true.
the pod after the fact, too. Not
All right.
live.
We can't do pods on Friday nights anymore. This is
This was
Evidently not.
possibly our best episode ever. We had the
It's better
mayor
than the
of one of the
pocket cheese.
largest towns in South Dakota jump on. This is incredible.
And we learned that he wasn't mayor necessarily on
My
purpose.
choice.
Whoopsie poopsie.
Just like
All right.
Ben and
Anyways,
Del
there I
Rapids.
was, mayor.
let's get out of here. Like Jim
Next thing
says,
you know,
like
I'm the mayor.
like we always say, go big, go blue, go Jets.
Go